They can't play the Game of Thrones very well, can they? Is this but a foreshadowing of things to come? Welcome to TurnTable Tuesdays reaction podcast to Season 3 of House of the Dragon, the prequel to Game of Thrones. Be forewarned, each episode carries a spoiler alert as we watch the dance of the dragons unfold. The podcast may also reference Fire and Blood, the novel which the series is based upon. So, without further ado, she and Daemon are playing checkers while their enemies are playing chess, or Sivas, the chess-like strategy game popular in Essos and imported to Westeros. By the end of the third episode, which swaps the frenetic warfare of the first two for the equally insidious guide on how not to run the 7 kingdoms of Westeros, even if you sit on the Iron Throne supposedly unchallenged, of how lacking political expertise and grand strategic thinking dooms you before you even begin. The episode's title is an epic mocking of our queen's supposedly bloodless ascension to the Iron Throne. Perhaps doomed from the start that her kingly father's reign was one of nearly continuous peace and prosperity, she has never learned the true costs of realpolitik. She never wants bloodshed and war when that was how her ancestors seized power in the first place. Her political instincts are woeful. She keeps restricting her circle of advisors after the death of each dragon-riding son and over-relying on her husband and Uncle Daemon, when noticeably her father Viserys never truly made him his hand. Though loving and protecting him, he saw Daemon for what he is, a vain, treacherous, impetuous, and short-sighted daredevil. So, can it be any coincidence that the episode opens and closes with Daemon's costliest folly to date? Viserys was a dreamer and not a realist, a trait which befalls his eldest daughter. She's dreamed of sitting on the Iron Throne, but nothing beyond the supposed romanticism. The 7 kingdoms were stridently against a woman ascending to the Iron Throne, and yet she expects to be seated without any backlash. In the last episode, we learned Viserys did not prepare her with the sword, and now we learn she has no political guile. Even the rats she served to the nobles was only the most pyrrhic of victories. So, she sits on the Iron Throne. But what is she a queen of? King's Landing, yes, but certainly not the 7 kingdoms. She has no coin because her enemies absconded with the royal treasury of gold. The High Septon refuses to recognize her without solid proof of King Aegon's death and denounces her and her dragon ancestors as demonically antithetical to the faith without any repercussion. This is a common refrain in the episode, of who insults her to her face and yet continues to live. Next are the King's Landing small folk who vent about the poverty and desperation of their lives, for they have suffered the most as a result of political upheaval. And then in a painful echo of one of Season 1's most unforgettable moments, the sea snake Lord Corlys unintentionally evokes his late, beheaded Corlys blasts Rhaenyra for her hypocrisy after she refuses to recognize his illegitimate sons. The scene only adds to her public humiliation, and yet he too, so far, remains unscathed. Lord Ormond Hightower, you are truly a Hightower, nephew of the late beheaded Otto. Sir, I raise the finest glass of Dornish wine to you. You outsmarted both the king and queen, played them for fools in a song to be written in the wars to come. Well done. But what do you think? Feel free to agree or disagree. Just leave your comments below and be sure to subscribe, consume more of our content, and ring the bell to be notified of when we drop more content like this. Remember, winter is coming, and thanks for listening.